Hi, my name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. Thanks for watching. In this short video, I'm going to share with you some thoughts as to what's happening in today's job market. First of all, the June job numbers came out through Statistics Canada. They were very impressive. 953,000 jobs were created in the month of June across Canada. So overall, we're still down about 1.8 million jobs, or about 50 to 55% of the jobs that were lost during the pandemic, which is not too bad, but obviously it could be improved. Restaurants, hospitality, manufacturing, and construction all had gains. And across Canada, New Brunswick led the way with 97% of the jobs came back from pre-COVID. Female-dominated jobs have definitely been hit hardest: hospitality, tourism, food accommodation, and retail. Male-dominated jobs in general have not been hit as hard, including manufacturing and construction. So that's why they're calling this the she recession, unlike the he recession that happened in 2008, 2009. Employment for men had recovered to 92.3% of the February level, compared to 89.2% of women. In Toronto, where the easing of restrictions has been delayed, the recovery rate is slightly below that of Ontario in the month of June. Employment level in Ontario was 89.6% of the February level, compared to 94.5% for the rest of the province. And as you may remember, 3 million jobs were lost during the months of March and April. 1 million in March, 2 million in April. Prime Minister Trudeau also announced today that the wage subsidy program will be continued till the end of December, which is encouraging news for businesses and giving some more time for companies to recover. Meanwhile, Toronto's unemployment rate rose from 11.2% in May to 13.6% in June. However, the unemployment rate for Ontario overall went down from 13.6% to 12.2%. Job postings, unfortunately, for young people are down by about 20% in July. So where we are seeing increased jobs, we get this question asked quite a bit. IT still continues to be strong, and that includes service desk positions, project manager type roles, and level 3 lead technicians, for example. NASDAQ has been on a tear, if you're watching the stock market, which means that IT and technology companies are going to start really growing in the next little while. And this is an overall viewing of the industries pivoting to digital transformations and more online. In June, employment in construction was 157,000 higher than in April, reaching 89.3% of its February level. In the manufacturing industry, employment gains in May and June totaled 160,000, bringing employment to 91.9% of its February level as well. Employment among youth jumped, and this is for 15 to 24-year-olds, jumped by 15.4%, or 263,000 in June, in line with the gradual reopening of industries with higher concentration of younger workers, such as accommodations, food services, hospitality, and so on. Obviously, where we've lost jobs has been in a lot, and they may not be coming back for a while. That includes airline, travel and tourism, events. Employment declined in natural resources also in June by 6,000, with a loss almost entirely in Quebec. So lots of numbers to digest that came out from Statistics Canada last week. Other news from different companies that you might be interested in: Amazon is hiring more than 700 workers. Now that's in Alberta, but it prepares to open up 3 new buildings and ramp up its delivery across the province. Obviously, Amazon has been a huge winner in all of this pandemic, as more people are ordering online and staying home. Fujitsu also announced something new, which is that 80,000 employees can skip the daily commute and work flexible hours from home by default. So obviously, again, changes going on there as well. And then Via Rail also announced last week that it's temporarily laying off 1,000 employees of unionized employees. So obviously, service disruption, people are traveling less, and so on. As far as the Canadian economy goes, the Canadian projected 2020-2021 deficit is $343 billion, with nearly $230 billion of that in COVID-related spending. So there's no doubt that we're going to be paying for all this spending over the years to come. And then Ontario is opening into stage 3, which will be announced today, and that will allow for more businesses to reopen and that should help out with job numbers as well. Another survey that came across my desk over the last week is an HRDC survey, which talked about HR leaders. They surveyed HR leaders, and 91% of HR leaders are keen on campaigning for remote work arrangements to continue post-COVID-19. So there's obviously going to be some changes going on with employment and jobs and people working remotely and so on. Now, most leaders also said in that survey, this is 74%, shared that they haven't adjusted their sick leave policies amidst the COVID pandemic. This is a bit of a bad news item, is that 1/3 of Indigenous workers in Canada in jobs are facing automation in those jobs. So this is a study that came out from a number of organizations, but it found that through studying 33 sectors, that about 250,000 jobs, or 33.8% of roles held by Indigenous workers across Canada, were currently concentrated in industries that had high risk of automation. So that's unfortunate news as well. But whether you're in a certain industry that's changed or whatever, you always need to look at the skills and changes that are taking place, and maybe you have to take some courses and so on that might be helpful for you in finding a new jobs. Some of the hot jobs that we're recruiting for right now at Toronto Jobs through our TorontoJobs.ca recruiting division include a web developer to create a new website. This can be part-time, needs somebody to be able to integrate live chat between users, something like Skype. There's also a controller position in Hamilton, and a financial advisor position working anywhere across the GTA, which is a commission-only type role, but it's within the financial services industry. So if you're interested in any of those jobs, email resumes at TorontoJobs.ca, visit TorontoJobs.ca, hover over the recruitment division tab at the top and select recruitment openings, and you can find those positions and apply directly online. Some of the upcoming events this week and into the next couple of weeks, I'm on Facebook on our TorontoJobs.ca group page every weekday at 12 o'clock p.m. That's from Monday through Friday. You can also check out TorontoJobs.ca on YouTube and find our channel, and where you can watch some of the previous videos that we've had as well. TorontoJobs.ca also presents the 2020 Canadian Virtual Music Expo for musicians. That happens this Thursday, July 16th. You can visit musicexpo.ca for more information about that if you're a musician. TorontoJobs.ca also presents the Virtual Recruiters Conference on July 22nd and the Canadian Staffing Firm Owners Conference on Thursday, July 23rd. Details of those events are also available at TorontoRecruitersConference.ca. The TorontoJobs.ca Virtual Career Conference happens on Wednesday, July 29th. You can find out more information and register at TorontoJobs.ca/news. And finally, the TorontoJobs.ca presents the 2020 Canadian Virtual Sales Conference on Thursday, July 30th. Information about that is at TorontoJobs.ca/news. So you can always visit TorontoJobs.ca/news to get the link for all the upcoming virtual events that we're doing and register there. Some of them have a cost, some of them don't. Most of them are free to attend, so hopefully you can make it out. So 3 things you should try to do this week if you're a job seeker. 1 is sign up for one of our virtual TorontoJobs.ca events. 2 is send me a connection request via LinkedIn. And 3 is connect with at least 10 people on LinkedIn who can influence you finding a new position, and put a note when you send them a connection request as to why you want to connect with them. So I'm going to leave you with a interesting lighter side or lighter story from last week. A council member for a small town in Spain accidentally broadcasted himself showering during a meeting. It was a video conference that was attended by officials, residents, and media, and it went through the whole morning. So this gentleman called Bernardo Bustillo worried that he would run out of time for his other responsibilities, so he took the computer into his shower, and what he forgot to do was close the video. What instead he did was he minimized the tab with the video, thinking that was going to stop the broadcast. So basically, you can guess that all his activity was shown on this Zoom or video conference call. So the moral of the story is just make sure that white light is off when you're videotaping or when you finish the Zoom call. Make sure that you're not broadcasted and that you're not on the internet. So in conclusion, stay positive. Make this week the best week you can. My name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, as I mentioned, and you can check out all our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can also grab a copy of my book called Tales from the Recruiter. It's available at talesfromtherecruiter.ca, and you can also get it through Kobo and Amazon as well. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Stay safe and be well.